This is what it's all about, being the captain. Hey, it's Tom from Tom's Toons. Today I'm going to show you how to install this reclining helm chair from pontoonstuff.com. This is their top of the line armrest, reclining, nice plush seat for the captain. We're also going to be installing it on their sliding seat base. It works great together, adjusts forward and backward. We're going to show you how to put it all together. The place I start is by tipping my seat back. You're going to have these rubber. These are simply for shipping, just to protect the rail system. You can throw these away. The hardware that comes with the seat will be tucked underneath in a bag. It's going to be a series of 4 stainless bolts, 1/4 inch, with a flat washer. You'll have another flat washer and a wing nut. The way that we put these together is I take my sliding base. This is the handle that's going to allow for this mechanism to slide. This lever is to allow you to lock the seat base into the position you want it locked in. From here, I'm going to go ahead and slide in my stainless bolt with that washer, and they're going to go into those top holes. Holding it in place, I'm going to take another flat washer and a wing nut on each of those. I'm not going to tighten anything all the way down yet. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. The reason I didn't tighten the top is because I can still adjust if I need to fit these bottom holes. Washer and the wing nut go on the back side. And then with the number 3 Phillips head screwdriver, I'm just going to hold that in place with my hand, the wing nut, and then I can tighten with the screwdriver. I tighten these by hand. I wouldn't use an impact or a drill, because when you get it turning and it starts to get tight, sometimes that wing nut on the other side is going to spin in your fingers, and it does not feel very good. I'm going to take my seat base, get it roughly centered. Sometimes I'll go slightly off center of the steering wheel. Just depends on the boat, and we're going to make sure we have room to turn too. Because if we look at our swivel base, we have a groove here. That's going to catch this little hook mechanism and lock the seat in place so it can't swivel. So I'm going to make sure when I'm mocking this up that that's turned away from that pin. I'm going to set my seat in the seat base. And then what I like to do is make sure that my slider is centered. And that way I can go ahead and just sit right in the seat. This is comfy. If you're steering or you're shifting throttles on the side, make sure that you've got enough space for that. This one will be a binnacle mount on the dash itself. And I just want to make sure I have room to swivel. There's room to get behind and out the exit door, but I also have room to slide back quite a bit. So actually, I really like where this is. I could maybe go a little bit more towards the starboard side of the boat. I'm centered up a little bit more now. A little easier access to the control box. I really like this. When I've got it in the right spot, I have 2 options here. I can either hold it in place or have somebody hold it and mark all of my holes, or I can put a foot on the base and lift my seat right out, keeping my base in place. Then I'll go ahead and mark all of my holes. This is where you want to decide, where is this seat going to lock into position. The way I typically do it is to lock them in to where they'll turn all the way around and face backward, then it will lock. I mark my holes, there's 6 of them. Here's a little trick. If I'm working by myself on this, I'm going to go ahead and use a bit that's slightly smaller than a 1/4 inch. That way I can drill or screw my bolts down through. They'll hold solid from the top, and that will be enough tension for me to tighten a nut and washer on the bottom. If you have a second set of hands, use that 1/4 inch drill bit, drill right through, and you can run your bolts. What we're going to run today is a 2 inch long, still a 1/4 20 stainless bolt with a flat head and a number 3 Phillips. This will sit really nice and flush down in that seat base. I've drilled all 6 of my holes. I like to start on one side. I'm going to run my 1/4 inch bolt down through. And then I'm going to skip to the other side. And that pulls everything down level. Then I can go around and just tighten everything down. And I am using that slightly smaller drill bit for my holes, so these are catching the wood and pulling the seat base into position. That's nice and snug in position. However, it's not enough. We need to make sure this is secure. So I'm gonna go underneath with a big flat washer on each of those bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten a nylock nut, a locking nut, or a nut and locking washer of some sort. We're underneath the boat. These are my 6 bolts coming through. And again, I drilled my hole slightly smaller than a 1/4 inch so that these threads would grab the wood. There's nobody on the top side. And this is how I do this when I'm working by myself. I go washer first, big flat washer, fender washer, and then my locking nut. Bring everything up tight with my hand, and then I'll tighten everything up. And I just keep my hand on the bottom of the bolt to make sure it's not turning. In this case, everything's nice and snug, bolt didn't turn. Last step after that is putting on the seat. It'll lock in position backwards, and then all I have to do is reach for my lever and I can spin back to driving position. If I want to slide forward or back, I just reach underneath. I can slide way back, or if the kids are driving, we can get nice and close and have a better feel for the steering wheel. This is the reclining helm chair, last feature. We can get nice and comfy, enjoy our time out on the lake. This is what it's all about, being the captain.